When was the last time that you sat down and ate dinner together with your family? Has it been years? Has it been months? Maybe it's just been a couple of days. Did you know that it is extremely important to sit down and eat dinner with your family? It's not only important for our social developments, but it's also important for the connections we have with our families. Over the next couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you the importance and the benefits of why you should have dinner with your family. The first benefit that I'd like to mention is that it creates better family relationships. If you are intentionally sitting down and looking at your family members, maybe sharing a meal that you created together, you're just bound to have a better relationship. When you think of your day-to-day life, you think of all the stressors that come to mind. I feel like whenever we think back, most of us are going to think about what was stressful rather than what was lovely. And when we're worrying about something, we're going to think about the stress too. When we are coming up with our day-to-day routines and ideas, our sit-down time kind of gets pushed to the side. And having a set time to have dinner with your family is important because you can have that stress reliever to look forward to in your calm family environments. In an article published in 2023 by the Stanford Medicine Children's Team, they stated that when a family sits down together, it helps them understand and handle the stresses of everyday life. It's scientifically proven that this does help us handle the stresses of everyday life. The second benefit that I'd like to mention is better grades. It is scientifically proven also that children who sit down with their families to eat dinner get better grades. The article called Grades in Families that Educational Connections uploaded in 2023 expresses that children who sit down and eat dinner with their families are 40% more likely to earn A's and B's. One way that you can make your family dinner is to have a screen-free environment. I encourage this, and that's how our family does it, because if you think about how often we are on our phones, Apple has created a screen time thing that we can see how often we actually are on our phones, and sometimes it calls us out. But when you think about how often you're on your phones, also think about how many questions children have. When I can think back to how many questions children have, I think of a lot. And when I think of how often I'm on my phone, I think of a lot too. When children are coming up to us and asking us a question and they see that we are just on our phones, can you imagine, this is my phone and you're trying to ask me a question? Yeah. Did you feel like that was really, like it mattered to me and that it was important? You probably didn't. To make a screen-free environment at your dinner table is really important so that you can see and connect with your children and with your spouse and with any other family member that you have at your dinner table. In this clip that I'm about to show you, they show all of the benefits that I have listed above. This clip is from the Netflix original Over the Moon, published in 2019.
Chama loves it up there alone. That's why she took both immortality pills instead of saving one for Oye.
Actually, according to my mother, I might be related to Oye.
Oye,
That's not what happened, Auntie. Oye was off fighting demons.
with his bow and arrow.
When a robber came and tried to
Steal the immortality pills?
Yeah. She only put the boat in her mouth as a hiding place.
Not buying it.
Chunga flew to the sky while her one true love stayed here.
And bit the dust.
Now she lives with a rabbit instead of a husband.
Good choice.
But it wasn't her choice. She didn't try to leave Hoyi behind. She misses Hoyi and cries for him every day.
And how do you know that?
They text.
Don't tease Fei-Fei.
We can see in this clip that while they did not agree with what Fei-Fei was saying, they were all looking at each other and listening to each word that each member had said. Now that you've heard my benefits from family dinners, I'd like to share with you on how you can implement a family dinner into your day-to-day life. The first thing that I'd recommend is getting the kids involved. Have them, if maybe you're too busy for your schedule to have a family dinner, have them choose one thing, like an extracurricular or a sport, and then encourage them that it is going to be exciting to have dinner as a family. Some kids, the first time that they learn how to sit at a table in a chair is at school. They aren't used to sitting down in a chair, and it's actually kind of harmful for their development to not know how to just sit there and be still. Imagine getting into kindergarten and not knowing what you're supposed to do. In kindergarten, you have to sit for around 8 hours a day in between. Have them help you meal plan. If you're worried about what you're going to cook for dinner, there's a lot of websites that you can look up. If you type in meal plan for October, or soup meal plans, or vegetarian meal plans, there's lots of options and varieties readily available to you that you can just type in. There's even some emails.com. You can type in all the recipes, all the ingredients that you have, and they will give you a shopping list, send you to Walmart, and it'll put it all in your cart for you. It can be really easy to cook meals at home, but you don't have to have family dinners at home. You could also have family dinners at a restaurant. But I think that you're more likely to have a more developmental connection if you have it at your own dinner table. In your meal plans, you can choose to make your meals healthier. So that could be another goal that you could add to it. Not everybody's going to choose that, and that's fine. But one thing you could do is you could have healthier meals as well as healthier relationships. Now that I've shared with you the benefits of eating dinner together as a family and how to have dinner together as a family, I'd like to share with you a story of my childhood. When I was growing up, we didn't always have dinners together as a family. We were very busy people with very busy lives. We had cheerleading and gymnastics and football and soccer and all different kinds of sports and not very much time in between. And my mom had noticed that we were fighting a lot. We didn't know what was going on. We weren't really sure with what the schedule was. We were cranky. She was cranky with my dad. We were just all not getting along. And so my mom was talking to one of her friends, and one of her friends had mentioned that there is no time for us to connect with one another. And we are just waking up, stressing ourselves out, going to sleep, and never having that time for connection. As she had started to implement the family dinners, it was kind of a hard transition at first because she made us choose one extracurricular or sport in our day-to-day life. I had decided on gymnastics, but it was kind of disappointing for everybody else who didn't know what they were going to do because we just had to choose one. But it ended up working out for the better because we had around 3 to 4 family dinners a week, and we got to get along again. We got to know each other. We had much better relationships, and we also looked forward to going to each member of our family's extracurricular that they chose, their performances and their games and all that stuff. Now that I'm an adult, we still have family dinners. Sometimes they're at my house, sometimes they're at my mom's house, and sometimes they're even at my grandma's house. My grandma and my grandpa haven't always come to our family dinners, but in the last year, we've decided to merge our families together and just have kind of a bigger family dinner. And it's been a really neat experience to get to know my grandparents as an adult. It's much different than the grandma that I grew up with that would give me everything, read me books, sing me songs, and while I miss that, it's been a really neat opportunity to get to know my grandma with a full comprehension. Now that you know a little bit about the benefits and how to implement it and a little bit about my story, in conclusion, I hope that you have been encouraged to come up with your own family dinners and what that might look like for you.